Welcome to Cooking with Chef Tuan, and today we are going to be making a delicious, refreshing strawberry and cream cheese tart. And as usual, all the ingredients will be listed down below. Here in a food processor, I have some flour, sugar, salt, and I'm adding in some cold diced butter. Now it's important when you process this, you want to give this a couple pulses. You don't want to continuously run your food processor because you'll melt the butter. You should be left with a coarse consistency just like this. Now we're going to add in our water. Now with this water, you want to only pulse your food processor until it just starts to clump like wet sand. Don't go any further than this. I think even this, I went just a tad bit far, but this is pretty much what you want. You don't want to go any further than this. Then just pour your dough out onto a floured work surface and gently mash it all together till it becomes one ball and just give it a light knead. You don't want to work this too much. And just keep shaping it. Pick up all the dough and all the flour, and once you got it into a nice little disc like this, wrap it in plastic wrap and put it in your freezer for about 30 minutes to let the butter firm back up. And while our dough is chilling, this is a great time for us to make our cream cheese base. So here I have one package of cream cheese. I have 2 tablespoons of crème fraîche. You can definitely use sour cream if you want, or if you can't get crème fraîche. Here I'm adding some powdered sugar and vanilla, and I'm going to whip this until it's nice and smooth. I'll be putting the cream cheese into 2 different piping bags fitted with 2 different pastry tips. The first one, I'm going to use just a little circular pastry tip. That's going to be our base. And a good tip is only put enough in your pastry bag that can fit in your hand. Don't overfill it, otherwise it's going to squeeze out the back. And then just give the bag a couple twists, that way everything stays secure. And I like to put this into a coffee mug, so that way it's just neat and orderly, it doesn't roll around. And then I don't think I need to show you how to trim some strawberries. And our raspberry glaze, it's 1 tablespoon of raspberry jelly and 1 tablespoon of water. And then I just nuked it in the microwave for about 20 seconds and stirred it up so it's nice and smooth. And once our dough is chilled for about 30 minutes, you want to take it out of the freezer, lightly dust it with flour, and roll it out to about 1/8 of an inch thick. Now to make our tarts today, I'm using a 4.5 inch tart pan. Now if you don't have one of these, you can just simply roll up the edges and crimp the edges just like you would for a pie. Now you always want to cut your tart dough a little bit wider than the tart pan, because that will give us the sides that we need. All you have to do is just plop your dough in, press the sides in, and then to get rid of all the excess dough, what I like to do is use a rolling pin and just roll it right over the top. That way all the excess comes right out. And if you need to, just squeeze the sides back into the tart shell. This is also a great time to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Now what we're doing here is called docking. We're just taking a fork and just gently pricking holes into the base of our tart shell. That way when we blind bake it or pre-bake our shells, they don't puff up. Once you're done docking all of your tart shells, we're gonna put it in the freezer for 10 to 15 minutes. Then I'm lining these tart shells up with parchment paper. You can use foil if you want. And then I'm using dried beans as my pie weights. This way it further ensures that the bottom of the tart shell will not inflate and puff up. And this will go into the 400-degree oven with our pie weights for 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, we will remove the parchment paper and the pie weights. And then it will go back into the oven for an additional 8 to 10 minutes until it's nice and light golden brown. And after our second bake, this is what you should get. Nice, beautiful, golden tart shells. And once they cool, it should only take about 5-6 minutes. We're gonna pipe in our cream cheese base. And as you can see, I'm starting right at the edge and I'm pulling the cream cheese right almost to the center. You don't wanna go all the way into the middle because you don't want all your cream cheese to overlap. And once you're done, just put a little dollop in the center. That way there's a nice even base of cream cheese all the way across. So we'll just take our strawberries and then we'll finish all around the edges of the tart, and then we'll put one right in the middle. And then we'll take our raspberry glaze and go ahead and brush over all of our strawberries. So just go ahead and finish all the rest of the tarts, and then when you're done glazing them all, we're gonna go and take the other bag with the star tip, and we're gonna go in between the strawberries and just fill up all these little empty spaces. It gives a nice visual contrast because you have the smooth cream cheese base and then you have the smooth glistening strawberries. And then now you have these little tiny stars of frosting in between. And the great thing about using these little tart pans is the removable bottom. So that way you can just pop your tart out and just put it onto a plate. And for the final touch, let's give this a nice dusting of powdered sugar, and then let's go outside so we can enjoy this. And just take a look at our beautiful tart. Golden brown flaky crust, our sweet cream cheese, our delicious bright red raspberry glazed strawberries. Now I'm enjoying this with an ice cold glass of milk, but you can definitely hit up some rosé or some champagne if you want. I'm gonna go in and dig into this. The crust is nice and flaky. I know it's gonna be super buttery. Look at how beautiful this is. All right, but before anybody gets any dessert, go and hit that like button right now. All right, now you can have some dessert. Super delicious, very nice flaky buttery pie crust. You have your cream cheese, very nice and sweet with a little hint of sourness from the mascarpone. I'm gonna wash this down with some milk. Guys, thanks so much for stopping by. Be safe out there, and as always, peace.